Hi everyone, hope you've enjoyed the first week of training so far. I thought I'd jump on here and share a few insights about running cadence. Improving this for me is the easiest and fastest way to improve your running. Running cadence is the amount of steps you take per minute, or essentially how many times your feet touch the ground every minute while you run. Amateur runners run at 150 steps per minute, roughly around there. Elite runners or well-trained runners run 180 steps per minute. While this is so important to improve and get better at, is the higher the cadence, the more likely you are to land with your foot under your body. So basically, once you increase it, once you try to move the legs faster, you actively have to pull it back towards you, so it should be like brushing the ground. When this happens, you're much more likely for it to land under you than in front. Why this is so important is when the knee is bent more when the foot lands under you. So in this position, the knee and the muscle around it connect more as a shock absorber, and there's more force pushing you forwards. Whereas when you land with it out in front, not only as you acting basically as a brake, because the force isn't moving forward as much, it's also coming back. So it's like driving with a handbrake on. You can still move forward, but it's not efficient, it's not effective. As well, with the leg being in a straighter position, when it comes forward, the muscles can't act as well as a shock absorber, so all of that force from the ground is coming up through the front of your knee, the hips, the lower back. So if you ever get injured or irritated through those areas, chances are you're overstriding and you're landing on your heel. As well as this, whenever you land on your heel, your foot wants to slap the ground. So for this, the muscle in the front, called the tibialis anterior, has to work super hard to control that motion. Whenever that gets overworked, it can start causing the pain and cause shin splints. So again, what we need to do is increase the cadence up, so we can't land in that position, but we're pulling it back to land in this position. What things we can do for this is first off work on our technique. So in the warm-up video, I added in A-skips. So that focuses on landing with the heel and the foot underneath us as opposed to in front. And we're going to add on that one as we go along. So make sure you have been practicing that, because we're going to build up through that. Second one's being aware of it. So if you don't know where you're currently sitting in terms of how far your cadence is, we're going to either look up the app. So if you track it on your watch, you can go into whatever app you use afterwards, the information will be there. If you don't have that, it's easy enough to work out yourself. So time your run for 10 seconds. And then count how many times you land on one leg in that 10-second period. Times it by 2 to get both legs, and then times it by 6 to get the minute. And that'll give you what your current cadence score is. Once you know that, you can then start to work on increasing it. Make sure when you do increase it, it's incrementally. Don't go from 150 and then try to get 180 in 1 week. It should be going up by 10% so the body can adapt and get used to it. Other ways to improve it is listen to music that's 180 beats per minute. So there's plenty of playlists on Spotify that you can listen to and try to step per minute. Or probably the best way to do it is have a metronome app. So one that sort of beeps at a certain beats per minute, which you can time your steps to. Free apps, one I use is Soundbrenner. It's easy enough to use and works in the background of whatever music you're playing as well. So it is effective. Main thing to do is to not get bogged down too much by all these details though. I wouldn't focus the whole run session on it. I'd maybe start one interval within the background or as your focus point, and then for the rest of the session, just trying to match that pace and enjoy it. Don't always be too hyper focused on it, but it's something we do need to increase to improve your running and become more injury resilient.